All right, guys, so we got an update on the Romeca Meeks incident that happened in Chicago. Now, if you don't remember this case, that was the case that happened in Chicago where the young lady ended up getting unalived by her baby daddy's current girl. That was the Holly chick, right? And remember, she was not arrested. No charges were filed against her at that time. But it looks like charges have been filed. As of today at 3:45, Chicago Police Department has filed charges of first-degree murder against Miss Hot. Of course, people are very happy about this because a lot of people were very saddened about the fact that no charges were being pressed at all. The situation was very sketchy, but witnesses on hand have given their encounter, and it looks like the police have come up with these charges. I know a lot of people have been following this case, and I have been too. I was hoping that maybe some things would change, and it looks like that the evidence has proved enough to where they can charge her with first-degree murder. But y'all tell me what y'all think about all of this in the comments. I'm so happy for her family that justice is about to be served.
Come on into my live. Actually, I'm gonna link this live so people can see it. So hold on a second. And then I'll explain what's happening. We are working really fast to update the web story, but I'll get to explain to you what just took place. Hold on one second. Hello. Hold on. Okay. So now that I have your attention, a lot of you are asking the question, hey, you posted an old article. What is going on? You're saying that there is a charge against Quadeja Holly Johnson. Hold on, let me close this door. See, I hear all the rigmarole of the newsroom. Hold on a second. So a lot of people are saying, Tia, you shared this old article. Are you sure this is indeed true? So we are working on updating that article that I posted. So that is why I have it there. What happened, let me kind of walk you through what's transpired. So I was working on something completely different. There is a Justice for Romeca Blackman page that exists on social media. And I have been tagged in that several times asking for me to do another story. Well, there was no update to provide for another story, so I took it upon myself to then make sure that I did the work of the people, which is to ask the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, is there any updates on this case? I actually did get a response, and in fact, I posted that response in this group yesterday. And it basically said what I heard back, that they were still investigating, that there was no new news. Well, at approximately 3:25 today, I got a phone call from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office on my personal cell phone that I use also as my work phone to say that Quadeja Holly Johnson has indeed been charged and will appear in court tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. So this is not made up. This is not fabricated. This is directly from the source in which I received a phone call. Over the course of September, when this happened, September 8th, I think is the exact date when this happened. I did do a story later on in the month of September with the family of Romeca, went to their home, sat down with them, talked to them. I also heard from family and advocates of Quadeja Johnson saying that, she wanted to clear her name. Apparently she had gotten a lawyer, and I told that person that, if she wants to clear her name, and, she's saying that it was the other way around, that she was the person that was being stalked, etc., that this platform, Fox 32, would be available for her to be able to speak. That never happened. I never had the opportunity to interview Quadeja and hear her side of things, but that is what I know was the circumstances. And in fact, the family member told me that she was instructed from her lawyer not to speak, to let this play out. But I still left that door open for the possibility, the probability that she may want to come here at Fox 32 and air out what she felt was, wrong for people to keep saying that she deserved to be charged. With that being said, since that airing of my story, which I think was September 23rd, was the very first time I personally had a hand in telling the story of Romeca Blackman, telling the story of her son who's left behind, whose birthday was literally coming up, I think the day after that interview. I have stayed on top of finding out if charges were coming. Because one of the questions people had is, how do you just shoot somebody like that, based on what witnesses saw? Some witnesses did not want to come forward, and I think in part because maybe they knew it would be a day that they would have to tell what they saw in court. Understandably, you don't want to talk to the news if you're going to be in a witness box. And so, yes, it is indeed true that at 3:25 p.m. today, I received a call from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, one of their spokespersons who's been there for years, who said, hey, I'm calling you because she has been charged. I know you've been emailing pretty much on a weekly basis. I'm giving it to you now, letting you know what's happening. So yes, it is true. The article that is linked is currently old. That article will be updated, and that's why I linked it, the previous story. But if you stay with that previous story, you will see here shortly, as our web team is working to update that story so that the new information is out there. This is breaking news. And as you know, in a breaking news situation, a lot of times things are still developing. And in this case, this has not been written up. What I can tell you is that I did indeed just take to air the information that was provided to me from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, and it did go on TV. So they're updating that news article online, like I said, at this minute. She is charged with first-degree murder. The details of what has, transpired between now, when it happened and now, and what they found out will be forthcoming. We do see, which I think is very interesting. Let me tell you this information that we did just get. Our assignment editor here at the station did just send me, the sheriff's office put out some information about, trying to serve, let me go through this real quick. So they did attempt to, deliver what they say are order of protections from the plaintiff, which was Quadeja Johnson, to Romeca Blackman. And they made an attempt on July 14th of 2025 to serve her, July 15th of 2025, unsuccessful, all of these. July 16th, July 18th, August 14th, and then October 2nd, which we all know she was not alive then. So all of these details, I'm sure, will come out in court. All of these details will be interesting to see, what did the Cook County State's Attorney's Office find out, since September. So September, October, November, here we are 2 months late, 3 months later, almost, pretty much 3 months later, almost 3 months to the day, by towards the end of this week, almost midweek, or I should say, between now and next week, almost literally 3 months to the day, September, October, November, December. What did they find out in that time that changed all of this? So yes, we did receive this information. We, again, are updating our website. This is not a joke. This is not a game. This is pretty much, I wouldn't go to air with something like this and it's not true. And I don't play about, someone being charged, except that's not a game to me. My job in covering deaths, killings, murders, injustices, that's not something that I play with. So I would never post something like that without it being true. And in fact, the article is updated. And so I will have that update in that previous article that many of you have already clicked on. So if you stay with it, that will be updated here soon. So no, I don't play about stuff like that. I take my job seriously, and I stayed on top of this case because honestly, to be truthful with you, many of you were responsible for that because you were emailing me consistently to make sure that I did. And so that's my job. That's my job for you to call me out and say, hey, did you email? Hey, what did you find out? And I don't have a problem with that. And in fact, I'll tell you, let me go through this. I'll give you the actual dates of emails in which I started emailing, and then I got to run. Because I emailed about a lot of different things. So I want to make sure I'm telling the absolute truth about everything.